Thanks again for joining us for your update from the City of New Hope as we record on June 25th. We want to take a look back at the recent council meeting and also find out what's new in the city. And joining us with the information is the mayor, John Elder. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
Good morning, Dave. I'm well. How are you doing?
I am doing well. We've got a lot
Great.
to talk about today, so
We
let's
do.
get right to it. There was a council meeting on the 23rd, as we have previewed in the past. Couple items to touch on. First, from the consent agenda, one item related to the financial department in the city and some fantastic news once again.
Absolutely. We received and accepted the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. And this is given out to cities and counties that truly have outstanding accounting practices and reporting practices. Back when I got on council 18 years ago, we weren't getting these awards. We had some challenges, there were some problems, and we revamped how we did things. And now, for the last 16 years, we've been receiving this award. And it just shows that we are going the extra step, the extra mile to make sure that we are being good stewards of the people's money. So, very honored to receive this award again, and very proud of our staff who've worked diligently to attain this.
Congratulations to all involved. So that was from the council meeting. Then EDA meeting that same evening, and a couple of highlights you wanted to pass along from that meeting that residents would be interested in.
Yeah, it was a big meeting for the EDA. We had four action items. The first was a resolution approving the purchase and redevelopment with American Dream Home Team LLC for the property at 5410 Wisconsin Avenue North. American Dream Home Team is just breaking into Minnesota. They have built 25 plus homes over in Wisconsin, and it's a family organization. And so they were awarded this property. They are purchasing it. They offered more money for the piece of property than we were asking. And so we're excited to see what they're going to deliver. We've actually looked at other homes that they've done, and it seems to be nice quality. So, and a ton of curb appeal. This is an important one because this looks right out onto Bayesian Park. And so the curb appeal is very important.
Mhm.
And the renderings that they've done and the photos of previous houses that are similar to this layout is going to be gorgeous. So we're excited about that. The next one that we had was for 7205 62nd Avenue North. And that also went to the American Dream Home Team, and they were awarded that bid as well.
Mhm.
When we send out, when we have these properties available, we send out requests for proposals to about 30 different builders. And the ones that want to submit a bid certainly can. They've got to show exactly what their house is going to look like, what it's, what the design is, including what the expected asking price will be.
Sure.
And one of these properties, it shows that it is expected to sell for $635,000.
Mhm.
So that would be the highest selling property in our scattered site housing program. So we're excited about that. So the third parcel for 6048 Quebec Avenue North went to Great Buy Homes. Great Buy Homes has built 13 previous homes in our city through the scattered site housing program. They do a good job. They do a good product, and so we're glad to have them back in the mix.
Mhm.
And the last thing we did at the EDA meeting was a resolution to approve the purchase of 3865 Jordan Avenue North. And that is going to be our newest scattered site housing. It'll be a demolition and rebuild, and we expect to get closed on that in July, and hopefully have people building on it by the end of August.
So there's your recap of the council and EDA meeting from the 23rd earlier this week. We'll get to more scattered site housing as it is a busy place in the city right now in
Yeah,
just a moment. But now to some other notes that are occurring in the city. The first is a tour that involved not only the city of New Hope and some of the representatives, but surrounding cities and an important cog that touches a lot of us in the area. Tell us about that tour and what they saw.
you bet. There was a tour of the Hennepin County Waste Management Twin Cities Recycling Facility. And we have very, very high numbers of participation in the recycling program. In fact, amongst the highest in this area. And so we wanted to see really, where does this go? How does this, I mean, we see the truck come and take away the recycling,
Mhm.
but how does it go? How does it get handled? And so there was a tour of that last week, and very, very interesting. Great photos attached, and so we're happy for the services that they provide.
Let's hop now to community development, and it is back to scatter site housing and talk about maybe a handful of properties that are in the works. The first is 4220 Nevada. Give us an update on that property, which has some visible things happening on the outside.
Yeah, the exterior framing has been completed, and that's the south lot of the two. The roof and windows have also been installed, so we're hoping to start building on the north lot at 4222 Nevada this week. And I think the rain has become kind of problematic for them.
Mhm.
These two lots are being done by Exceptional Homes and Remodeling, and they're both expected to sell for $579,900. So it's exciting to see these come to fruition.
Next property, 5410 Zealand Avenue. This is in the concrete process, it looks like.
Yep, yep. The basement, garage floor, and front steps have been poured. The home will be listed on the MLS soon, and it'll be fun to see what this one sells for. This house has a lot of little extras, and it'll be fun to see. Great area, and we're tracking this one closely.
We'll keep you up to date on that. Next one is 5416 Virginia, and this is in the early stages of the process. Tell us about this property and what's happening now.
Yep, Xcel Energy has disconnected the electricity to the home, and demolition specs are being put together. The fire department's going to use that property on September 9th for a training exercise, so they will burn down part of the house, and residents will get information about that. Residents in the area will get information about that. So you're not surprised when you're seeing all the police and or the police cars there and all the fire trucks there.
Mhm. Final property is 8420 50th Avenue, and this is on the complete other end of the spectrum. Final touches being put on here.
Literally final touches. The sod has been installed at the property, and we do have some photos of that. The final certificate of occupancy has been issued, and that home sold for $555,500. So, we are seeing that a lot of money is being spent on these scattered site housing homes when we're first purchasing them. But we're turning around, we're selling them for, in some cases, double the value that we bought it for.
Mhm.
And whereas there are costs associated to the city for that, that money that we're using to purchase these homes is grant money coming from CDBG, Community Development Block
Right.
Grant money.
Mm-hmm.
And that money is earmarked for residential development. And so we're very, very happy to have the opportunity to use this grant money and to really spruce up properties that really need a lot of help.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're working to beautify New Hope.
Few other community development items to touch on. They are involved with the business community in a number of ways. We have a couple business notes. The first is related to an upcoming networking group. Give us that date, time, and location.
Yep, the New Hope and Crystal businesses have a networking group that is formed. And on July 2nd at 2 p.m., I will attend the Rockin' Nutrition uh, networking event hosted by Teresa Tice. And this one is just across the border into Plymouth at 4408 Nathan Lane in Plymouth. Fun to see us stretch a little bit out of our boundaries
Mm-hmm.
and to really expand and work with all the businesses in this area.
Final note from community development, business use certificate of occupancy permits. Looks like we have a few new businesses ready to meet up with customers. Tell us
And
more.
this is so exciting to see new businesses come to town. And as mayor, this is one of my primary objectives is to bring businesses into town. And once or twice a week, I'm talking to businesses about coming into New Hope, or I'm getting questions of businesses that want to come to New Hope and they want to know that they're coming into a community that is supported by their city. And I have not been shy about my belief that we have to take care of our businesses in town
Mm-hmm.
and we have to work well for them and help them be in a community that supports their work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super important to me. And so when I see that we have two new businesses coming in, I'm excited about it. Some of them aren't, your average retail. And
Yeah.
that's great. That's
Mm-hmm.
fine. One of them is the Miracle Palace Chapel International, and that'll be going in at 9220 Bass Lake Road. And it is going to be a church, a worship space, Bible study classes. So there's nothing being sold there.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is Loon Systems, and that's going in at 7600 Bass Lake Road, and that's an IT consulting and technical support services.
Okay.
So these again are businesses that are coming into town, whereas they're not generating a lot of traffic coming in. Um, it's great to have them here.
Let's hop to the police department now. A few items to update you on here. First is community engagement with the police department, ways they're getting out and about. And even the mayor was involved in one of those activities. So tell us about the outreach from the police department in the recent week.
You bet. Officer Larson instructed a defensive driving class for members of staff and for the community. If you are over 55 or 55 or older and would like the opportunity to receive uh, possibly a discount on your automobile insurance, you can sign up for one of these classes. I think it's a 4 hour class, and it's well worth your time, and it saves you a little bit of money on the insurance. So it's something, if you're interested in that, please contact our Park and Rec department. Officer Callio participated a child safety seat clinic with North Memorial.
Mhm.
A lot of the cities around the metro do car seat clinics, and Officer Callio is a certified installer. And it's important that we provide these sort of services to residents because the improper installation of a car seat um, can injure a child far more quickly if there's a crash or a strong deceleration of
Mhm.
speed. there's a whole lot more to it than just putting in the car seat and buckling it in.
Right.
So I would encourage people that if you have car seats and they have not been installed by a safety seat certified installer, that you look to your police department and try to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Several members of the police department participated in the Special Olympics law enforcement torch run. We picked up the torch from the Crystal Police Department that was running it over from Brooklyn Center, and they handed it off to us at 49th and Louisiana. And our officers and city staff, police department staff, ran to Plymouth with
Right.
this torch.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas I'm still on crutches, so I will not be was not able to run,
Right.
I was able to participate as one of the lead squad cars for the run itself to ensure safety for the runners. So
Mhm.
that was fun, and that was enjoyable to do. They did have some of the Special Olympic athletes
Great.
that were also involved in that. So wonderful.
Great way to get out in the community. Police does
Yeah.
that on a regular basis. Another note from police, you wanted to touch on the police-related incidents over the last
Yep.
week. What does that number look like?
We had 433 police-related incidents from June 12th through the 18th. That's down from previous years over the same time period. And again, that can be affected by a lot of things. It can be affected by weather, I mean, any number of things, community events. And so that's great, but it just gave our officers more time to be able to go out and be proactive and do community engagement.
And a final note in the police department, you wanted to highlight not only one officer, but a number of officers that was assisting in other departments over the past couple weeks here with some of the tragic events that went on. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, this is the weekend. I'm referencing the weekend that Senator Hoffman and his wife were shot, and Representative Speaker Emeritus Hortman and her husband were murdered. And our officers, our SWAT team, our entire department was very integrated into that, whether it was responding to the Brooklyn Park scene, whether it was going out and doing a perimeter when they believed he was still in the area on foot, to our SWAT team going through and checking areas. There was an incredible amount of work. And whereas the manhunt went on for 43 hours, the law enforcement work to this is far greater than that.
Sure.
And we had our officers step up to the plate and truly put their personal lives on hold. And it was an all hands on deck. And our SWAT team performed marvelously. Um, and our officers at the scene and our officers that have helped out in every manner was incredible. We did have an officer, and this has gotten a great deal of media attention. We did have an officer who had contact with somebody by Senator Rest's home in New
Hmm.
Hope. That officer, with the information that she had at that moment, that officer absolutely positively did everything that she was supposed to do. And she was going over to Senator Rest's home to check on her safety and encountered what we later found to be the suspect, and had a very brief interaction with him, wholly believing that he was another police officer. She went on to check Senator Rest's home along with another officer who came from a different direction. And then when they went back to talk to what ended up being the suspect, he was gone. And Senator Rest put out a very strong statement crediting that officer with saving her life.
Mhm.
And so, just remarkable work by our police department as a whole, and very, very proud of them. So, hats off to them and our thanks for their continuing to provide safety to us.
Let's move ahead to Park and Recreation now. Just a couple of highlights here, and we've got a few pictures to share because there was a lot of cleanup work going on in the community recently, and a lot of thanks to be given out.
You bet. Stantec is a company that we use for consulting services on engineering. And their company comes out every year and does a day of giving.
Mhm.
And they worked they worked so hard. And they did a great number of things, from planting, from weeding, from spreading mulch to, pruning trees and all the things that needed to be done in public areas. And so we are very, very grateful. They then provided lunch to city staff, and this was all at no cost to the city of New Hope.
Mhm.
So we appreciate our partnership with Stan Tech, and we're grateful for their services and their willingness to come out and work with us.
Indeed, happens on a regular basis throughout the years. And one other Park and Rec update, the golf course, just give us a quick update on how things are going at the course. And it was graduation party season, and the golf course played host to a number of those parties, I understand.
Yep. This past Saturday from noon to 6 p.m. there was a graduation party on the north, strike that, on the east deck patio,
Hmm.
and very highly populated area, great area, big open space.
Yeah.
And so we were excited to be able to have people use that for that.
And a lot of folks, as you might imagine, enjoying the golf course as well. Even in the heat, I think a few got
Yeah.
out there and hit the ball around the course. A couple other finance notes to pass along, and this crosses over a number of departments. The water meter replacements. You have some numbers to update us on how that's going, and just a message to residents who get contacted here in the coming weeks.
Yeah, people will be getting letters if you haven't done so already, and that's to change out your water meter in your home. We do have water meters inside the home because the challenge is we're finding that when they were outside, they were freezing up, getting covered with snow, not projecting or transmitting the readings, and so people's water bills were off. And so we are putting the meters inside the home,
Hmm.
and we have replaced 1,621 of the meters in our city, and we still have 4,315 left.
Okay.
So what we're really asking people to do is that when you get this letter, the schedule that appointment. City staff will come over, they'll replace it. It's quick, it's painless. But we need to get this done so that we can adequately serve people for their water needs. And our city staff is doing it. We are not using a contractor to do it. And by doing that, we are saving the taxpayers over $1 million. So we're really asking people to meet us halfway here and help us get them squared away.
And again, more information about that whole process on the city's website, newhopemn.gov. And a final note, also information on that website about the council vacancy. Mayor, give us an update on that process, where we stand now and what's coming up next.
Yeah, well, it is now posted. With the death of Councilmember Hoff, we now have an open council seat. And so what will happen is they have now posted this on the city website, and people will be able to apply for the position of council member. And there will be interviews, and I believe they'll be the first Monday in August. And subsequent follow-up interviews have not been scheduled yet, but that's kind of the plan that we have right now. That person will be appointed to the council to serve until the next election.
Right.
And so you do council, until the end of 2026. Well, there's an election in 26,
Right.
and that person would have to then run for election for the last 2 years on that
Mm-hmm.
seat.
Okay.
And if anybody has any questions, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to answer questions. Council is not a huge daunting time commitment, but there's a lot of reading. I bet I spend 10 to 15 hours a week reading over all of the stuff that I need to be versed on for
Mm,
council meetings.
sure.
So we encourage folks to go ahead and apply if they're interested.
Very good. And again, newhopemn.gov is where you can find out more information about that and other things we've talked about today. And also, this handy little magazine here has a lot of park and rec activities, family activities in it as well, available at City Hall. And also, you should have it at home, hopefully from the mail. Mayor, thanks once again for the time. We appreciate the update here, and we will talk to you again next week.
Dave, thank you so much. Be well.
You're welcome. And here's a look at some other things that are coming up very quickly here in the city. For more city stories, check out ccxmedia.org or find us on social media.